Hello and welcome to our monthly recap. My name is Scott Galloway, Police Chief, Lafayette, Indiana, and this is our recap of January 2025. In this recap, we're going to cover major crimes that we investigated, our January stats, and internal updates. I want to first start with major crimes. These are shooting incidents, aggravated batteries, anything that we sent to detectives that was a major investigation. On January 1st, we investigated after residents at Farrington Avenue reported their house was shot. Officers located one shell casing in their yard, and later a bullet impact was also located on Sonoma Court. No arrests have been made in that incident, and it is an ongoing investigation. On January 16th, we responded to a shots fired complaint inside Malibu Jacks. These are high-profile cases, especially when you're having incidents like that inside populated areas, inside of businesses. Upon the investigation, we arrested a juvenile. We also seized 3 firearms. This wasn't one of those instances where all hands on deck. Every detective was dispatched to the scene that we had available, CSIs. These are very critical for us to solve these cases. We had a shooting on January 21st. Investigators believe that subjects in the 2200 block of Brady Lane are involved, and this is an ongoing dispute between individuals. All the subjects are known to each other that are involved in this dispute, and this is an ongoing investigation. And lastly, on January 27th, Matthew Kuiper approached a MetroNet employee and stabbed him during an altercation. These two people did not know each other. Kuiper then fired several rounds at a black Cadillac SUV passing by the area. The SUV fled, but the owner was later identified and police spoke to that person. Kuiper was located soon after. The shots were fired walking in the area, and the officer stopped him. He was carrying multiple knives, multiple firearms. He was arrested for aggravated battery resulting in serious bodily injury, battery with a deadly weapon, and criminal recklessness with a deadly weapon. I now want to cover our January stats. These are year-over-year stats comparing January 2024 to January 2025. I'd like to point out that property crimes, theft, burglary, and robbery all went down from last year's statistics. Had 0 robberies in January. Shootings in January, we had 4 that I just recounted. We had 2 last year, January. We seized 33 firearms. We recently partnered with the prosecutor's office to put out a public safety announcement referencing juveniles getting into cars to steal guns. This used to be an incident where kids or juveniles would go around town checking car doors for loose change, CDs, minor things. Now it is specifically targeting cars to get into glove boxes to steal guns. Secure your cars, secure your firearms, please. Lastly, we had 809 traffic stops and only issued 165 citations. I point that out because our job is not to try to increase people's insurance rates or make life hard on them with tickets. It is to change driving behavior. So changing lanes frequently, speeding. We live in a city. It's heavily populated. Please drive carefully. And finally, we want to go over internal updates. These are things that happen within the police department. Again, we have a lot of great employees here, civilian and sworn both, that are working very hard, both outwardly, solving crimes, solving problems, but also doing the internal things to make sure that we are transparent, doing events, and keeping the police department running. So with that goes hiring people. In 2024, we've announced that we hired the most people ever in Lafayette Police Department history with 24. We're going to keep that going this year with 2 hires already, Shelby Harwood and Caden Harker. Welcome them to the police department. We did celebrate retirement for Chris Kennedy. She worked for over 28 years as a dispatcher. We're going to miss her. She was a great friend. We also showed support for people who have donated to our Canine Fund. Ellie Wright, Cargill Cares, McAllister Foundation. These individuals and companies donated money to protect our canines with vests or to buy canines, and we're really excited for that. We also promoted Officer Roberts, who is a school resource officer, to a technician. That job has grown from an officer in the school to somebody that does administrative work, who does detective work, who is a supervisor, so it's very earned that he gets upgraded to a technician. We also recorded a Lafayette Bicentennial podcast with Mayor Wazorski. This is the bicentennial year for Lafayette, so all year long we're going to be celebrating, and there's some fun events in the works. The point in time count was a huge success with our outreach unit, Amanda Ferguson and Adam Murphy. This is a vital initiative that helps identify and support individuals experiencing homelessness. It plays a key role in how Indiana allocates funding for services, including housing for veterans. After the count, the LPD's outreach team will continue to follow up with these individuals to offer resources, ensure that these individuals have a warm, safe place to sleep. We also celebrated the 10-year anniversary for Officer Medrano, Technician Butler, and Sergeant Verma. At the years 5, 10, 15, and 20, and every 5 years after, we celebrate those benchmarks because it's important to make sure we're recognizing our officers and our employees. We had a DARE Sunnyside graduation. Our student of the month was Elisa from Medgelia. We also have a Raising Cane's fundraiser coming up February 19th from 4 to 8. Those funds go to our Police Foundation. It's a 501c3 that helps us do some of the events, the outreach events, and we really appreciate people donating to that. We want to thank you for joining us today for our monthly recap. We urge you to join us on our social media pages, our Instagram, Facebook, follow our podcast. There's a lot of good information out there. If you want to know about the police department, we're happy to talk about it. Thanks.